Well, good evening. Happy Tuesday. Thank you for joining us for another Beyond the Podium Election 2025 interview. My name is Dylan Cleland, joined alongside tonight by Steubenville Mayoral candidate Ralph Petrella. Ralph, thanks for stopping in.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate this opportunity.
Yes. And so Ralph is running against Kimberly Hahn. We spoke to her last night. They are running in the May 6th primary for Steubenville Mayor. Currently, there are no Democrats or independents filed for this race. Ralph, let's just start with you haven't served in public office before, and this is kind of a new venture. What made you want to pursue this?
Yeah. I grew up, my father was a councilman in Steubenville, so I grew up kind of watching him. I was raised essentially in the council chambers in the 90s. Mayor Mucci used to yell at me for playing Batman too loud in the pews. But I love Steubenville. It deserves somebody who really cares about all aspects. I've lost a lot of friends in the streets of Steubenville, and I'm really tired of seeing that. We have a bad stigma about crime and violence, and it starts with our youth. And I want to look out for our youth. I'm very involved with our youth, and I think they are the building blocks for the future. And if no one's going to take care of them, somebody has to step up and do it.
And with that being said, you're someone that is from the area, as you mentioned, but you've also traveled around and been in different places, had the opportunity to experience different things. So with all of that taken into account, what are your priorities or kind of your vision for what Steubenville could be?
Yeah, I was able to see a lot. I was at Richmond, Virginia, Minneapolis, Lubbock, Texas, Pittsburgh. And it's cool seeing how different cities run and operate. For example, in Minnesota, they use a lot of Blue Zone funding, which is health-based grants that fund infrastructure like sidewalks and roads. And that is very unique there. And that's something I want to bring back here. Also, being able to see the world come back has been absolutely enlightening because you can see what is out there. When I was in Richmond, Virginia, my apartment complex was an old tobacco factory that was completely revitalized. And my current business is in an old middle school, which we've transformed into a fitness center and spa. And it's really cool to be able to take those old structures that we have in Steubenville, see how other communities have done that, and bring that information back to Steubenville.
And I want to talk about that in terms of economic development, but I do want to ask you one more kind of question just about the background and right now being on the campaign trail for several months. We're 2 weeks out from election night. What have you learned just in talking to people around Steubenville?
Oh man, I've learned so much. I decided to take this journey in August. So it's about 9 months in now. And 2 weeks will come to fruition. And I've learned what we want as a city. We want experiences. People talk about recreation, and I think that gets misconstrued of what recreation is. And some generations think that's things, right? Our generation, our millennial generation, our Gen Zs, our Gen Alphas coming up, we want experiences. We want jump parks. We want Beatty Park. We want nature trails. We want things that we create memories and lasting memories with.
And so let's go to economic development now and get into our first topic. Weirton has seen a lot of development. Wheeling is almost done with its streetscape project. You look around the Ohio Valley, there's a lot of progress being made, but here in Steubenville, there's definitely work still to be done. How do we maybe draw from what's being done in these other areas and try and mirror something similar in Steubenville?
I'm so competitive. I am so competitive. Hearing Mike Petrella talk at the State of the County address saying that they brought in 34 new businesses to Wintersville and they're the heart of the county. It really, lit a fire under me. And Weirton is doing great. And I think that we need to reach out, see what they're doing. I understand Weirton, Wheeling, different states, different laws, different grants, things like that. But we have to be competitive. We have to be hungry for change, and we have to utilize our new city planner. She came from Weirton. Let's get her experience. Let's see how they did it there. Let's utilize it here. But it's a multi-step approach. The first thing I want to do is get our police department to full strength. We're down a few spots, and then I want to try to establish a foot patrol again. In the early 2000s, Laybell had a foot patrol, and I want to get that established again because we develop relationships through that. And I know that doesn't sound like economic development, but that's the first step. Once we can have those relationships, then we can make our city cleaner, and we can utilize branding. Centralized branding, being a collegiate strength coach, we used to have to wear 4 logos a day, right? That is branding. That's a message that is seen seen throughout the campus. So I want to bring that concept to Steubenville, have a centralized branding, have a pointed direction, and then utilizing those steps entice business, entice industry. You look around at Adam Street and 6th Street, there's empty lots. We can utilize those lots for anything, right? It can be housing, but if we change some of the ordinance that prevent industry and housing to be mixed and have a commercial and residential mixed, we can then entice businesses to open. Well, again, going back to Richmond, Virginia, going back to experiences, it would be house, restaurant inside of a house. The upstairs would be apartments. And I think that our ordinances, they block that from happening. And I think those are things that we need to review. And we need to make our city, I hate to say it because it's West Virginia's slogan, we need to make our city open for business. And we need to streamline our processes administratively to make it easier for businesses to open.
We're talking to Ralph Petrella, the Steubenville Mayoral candidate for the primary, which is coming up May 6th. If you have a comment, I want to mention this, a comment or a question or a topic that you want to hear us get into, feel free to leave a comment and we can try to get into that as our conversation develops here. Sticking with economic development right now, Ralph, there's two areas that come to mind for me, at least, that have potential, but we're not seeing it. We haven't seen any movement on. One of them, the Fort Steuben Mall.
I knew it was coming.
What could be done to market this area to potential companies, businesses, restaurants, whatever it might be?
So we have to figure out the foreclosure situation first, right? There's due process, there's things administratively that need to be done, but turning those spaces instead of retail spaces into experiences. Why can't we have an urban air jump park, a trampoline park for the kids? Being out in the community, walking door to door, talking to people with children, like, oh, we have to drive to Robinson to have that experience. Laser tag, zip lines. You know, you look at the old Macy's building, you can make a zip line park, just like a Go Ape park, right? It has climbing, it has zip lines. Those are experiences that are open for the whole family. We obviously have to fix it structurally. I think that the structural integrity needs to be examined. And hopefully it is safe. I don't know if you've been there recently, but it's some hilly. It's got some divots and some splits. So obviously the structural integrity needs to be identified, but making experiences, making it a playground, an indoor playground, so you have kids that can go to the playground, have slides and things like that indoors. I think that would be really, really awesome for our kids.
And that ties into the recreation idea, which you had mentioned earlier too. Economic and development, recreation often go hand in hand. Another area, you know, we see a lot of areas in downtown Steubenville that used to be very successful, a lot of older structures, older buildings. And these buildings can be used again. They can be repurposed. But a big part of that is funding. And what would your plan be to get some funding in here to be able to tackle some of these projects?
Yeah, I go kind of back to what I said earlier about Minnesota and Blue Zone funding, right? That's health and fitness funding. It's specific grants that change infrastructure based on health and fitness activities. I was just on Facebook looking at listings, and an old church is available. Those are huge spaces where people could come and we could put an indoor playground in, right? $5 a pop. That kind of return on investment will turn over quickly, and it revitalizes structure. Again, my business in Fallensby is an old middle school. If you came in there, you would never know as a middle school because of how we've changed it. And I think doing things like that and looking at the return on investments is really important. Also, grants, funding, private donors, angel donors, things like that. We have to reach out to our community, and we have to develop from the community up.
Does it have to be small local businesses, or can we look and see and try to get bigger places to come in here, bigger organizations to come in?
I think it has to be both. I think we definitely need industry. I think there's room for true industry, and we have to invite that industry in. I'm open to everything. I don't want to compartmentalize. I want to say, hey, let's find a solution. Don't bring me a problem. Let's bring solutions. And if we can get, a distribution center, get a factory, get a multi-job facility, I'm really open to everything. And I think that we do have that potential because Steubenville has access to water, electric, and gas in our infrastructure at those sites already.
If you were to be elected, are you willing to go out and try and have those conversations and market? Do you feel like you have a grasp on the area to be able to market it?
I'm a recruiter. I will go out. I will go to absolutely every industry, every small business, and utilize a recruiting mindset and a recruiting aspect to bring people to Steubenville, but not just bring people to Steubenville, educate our youth on potential jobs that are here. We have great trades. We have the carpenters union, we have the plumbers union, we have boilermakers, laborers unions in Steubenville. I don't think we do a good enough job educating our youth that they can stay here, make a great living. Police, I look at our police department. Why don't we start at a young age building relationships with our police department? That way we can recruit and make that job cool, make that job awesome. Again, when I grew up, I wanted to be a firefighter. I would go down to the Pleasant Heights Fire Station, and I love those guys. I thought it was the coolest things ever. And there's advancements, right? You can start out and you can advance all the way up to a captain, all the way to a chief. And it has a 401k. It has a great salary. It has great benefits. So if you look at a firefighter, they work 24 hours on, they're 48 hours off, so they have another profession. I think about Doc Sullivan, right? He's an eye doctor and he's a firefighter. And I just think that's such a cool concept to be able to recruit those youth to stay here. My brother is a welder. He does a great job. He makes a great living. He is from Steubenville, and I think having that aspect and recruiting those individuals is really, really important.
We are getting some comments here. Want to thank everyone for leaving them. This is kind of goes along here. Sean is asking, would tax breaks or tax credits be an option to bring in new businesses?
I think so. I don't know the logistics. I would have to surround myself with people that understand those logistics, but why not? Like, why can't we explore every option? If a tax break brings companies and brings jobs to Steubenville that Steubenville residents can stay in Steubenville for, I will explore it. Absolutely. I'm ignorant to that. I'll be the first one to tell you I don't know everything, but I want to learn and I want to surround myself with great people that do.
And that's when it comes to that financial stuff, the council is going to have a lot of dictation over that, or say in that, I should say. And so it's going to have to develop that working partnership if you were to be elected. I do want to stick with this last thing on economic development before we move on to recreation. What is your place or plan to bring industry work back? Obviously the steel industry was booming here for so long, but there is potential. We have a lot of old sites along the river. Yeah. That can be transformed and used to produce other things now.
I think geographically, just like you said, geographically, we're in a great area. And I think we need to utilize our new growing industry, right? AI is going to blow up. Those supercomputers are going to need housing, right? They're going to need power. I know President Trump is working to bring coal back online, where the Biden administration kind of took it offline. You look at the Samus plant. That's something I grew up with, and now it's gone. And those were jobs. And how can we bring jobs like that back to our industry? And I think every option needs to be explored.
Talking to Ralph Petrella, candidate for Steubenville mayor. Election coming up May 6th. Ralph, let's move on to recreation. Every summer, the historic Fort Steuben concert series takes place, right? People go down to the fort. There's other festivals and activities that we see in downtown and around the area. Where do you think recreation sits right now, and what might be able to be done to make it even better?
I think we're in an okay spot. I think we're right, kind of neutral. It's not poor. It's not great. We need to look at experiences. So I got a chance to help the forts kind of move those chalets to a lot where they're stored, and it got me to think: why can't we have a few set up that's going to promote businesses? Right, we have it during Christmas with vendors and things like that. Local vendors could rent those out, sell their goods during the concert series. I think we need to continue to look at entertainment for all ages. I think man, the Harmonium project in First Friday is amazing. I think they have done a great job just building that. Let's make it another 2 blocks. Let's make it bigger. Let's make it wider. Let's create more of that. And let's put it in different areas too. I think that it's centralized to downtown, which is great, but I think that we can move it. I think we can move it to the north end. I think we can move it to the south end, the west end, especially with the new Lover's Lane development. Why can't we create something in Royal King's parking lot? Why can't we? I know the mall parking lot is a sore subject with all those potholes, but having people there would bring attention to it, right? And that attention would be able to get it fixed. I'm a huge proponent of Beatty Park. I think it's great. I'm a hiker. I'm a nature guy. I want to be out there. I just got done camping at Salt Fork, right? I think utilizing our natural resources is huge, but we have to be smarter with our money, right? We have to understand we are a city of needs versus a city of wants. As much as I love Beatty Park, and I might take some heat from this, and I don't care. I'm just going to be who I am. We spent too much money to repair a bridge. That bridge could have been done another way, and it could have been done cheaper. We could have utilized those other funds in other areas for more recreation. And you might say, oh, well, Ralph, those funds need to be designated for that area, because they did. But if you go into Lincoln Avenue, we could have used those funds in a wider array. And I might take some heat from that, and I'm okay with that. I have broad shoulders and strong legs, and I'll carry that heat. But we got to be smarter with our money. We're looking at surveys of upwards of $200,000 for lighting at Bellevue. And like, that's recreation that could bring revenue in. But is that something that is going to bring back its return on investment? As a businessman and a business owner, every purchase I make has to make its money back and then some. And if we don't start looking at the return on investments of our city, we're going to keep digging ourselves into holes.
I asked you about Fort Steuben. And we talked a little bit about parks and things like that. It's not just bringing people, a lot of these activities and things do bring people in to visit, but we want people to come here and stay here. I think that's a pretty common idea that a lot of people feel. And so it all has to kind of work together. Any ideas or things that you'd be willing to implement to kind of bring people together?
I think we need to look at keeping people here. Our youth is leaving at an exponential rate. Our youth is graduating high school, going to colleges and staying. We need to look at why. And recruitment is great. Bringing people is great. But if we don't keep our youth here, then we're not going to bring more people here. So we have to, again, create experiences for them, create jobs, and create an atmosphere of cleanliness and orderliness that makes the city safe and happy.
I want to mention, we put up a comment there after we got into it. How do we truly make Steubenville a place where we're community driven and encompassing all people? That kind of goes along with what we just discussed. I didn't know if there was anything you wanted to add to that.
Again, building relationships, that goes back to building the relationships in our neighborhoods. And once you build those relationships, we increase city pride. There's a lot of negativity in Steubenville. People aren't proud to be from Steubenville. I work in Wheeling as the director of strength and conditioning for Wheeling University. And they're like, oh, you're from Steubenville. It's so dangerous. I love Steubenville. I walked from Pleasant Heights downtown. I met 2 individuals on Easter Sunday that were here from East Liverpool visiting to look at the Easter egg I always mess up the word, the Easter eggs. And those individuals, if we don't have pride in our city, if our sidewalks aren't clean, if it looks bad, if our branding is poor, they're not going to come back. And maybe our branding is so good it entices them to stay and move.
Let's circle back to infrastructure, which I feel like is kind of you've hinted at here and there. The water project finishing up in Steubenville is something that started last year, and we've seen it now kind of come to fruition. When it comes to water, the basic necessities, water, sewer, wastewater, and the roads, all under the umbrella of infrastructure. What do you believe needs some work, and what would your plan be to do that?
Our administrators first need to see it. I have went and met with every department head, and I've been at our water plant, I've been at our sewage facility, I've been at our M&R department, and I've seen firsthand, and it's kind of sad because I was meeting with the department head and he said, man, I'm so glad you're here. You're the first elected official or candidate to ever come here. That's a problem. That's a problem. That's a lack of pride in our administration, right? So first off, we need to see the problem. We need to talk firsthand. There's a quote that you can see, you get a good look at a T-bone by sticking your head up a bull's butt, but you rather take the butcher's word for it. Sometimes I got to see that T-bone firsthand. I can't take somebody else's word for it. I need to see the crumbling building of our sewage plant firsthand. And it's distressing, right? So once we have a better idea of what we're actually dealing with, then we'll really have a concern and a pride to get it fixed. And we need to look at grants. We need to look at funding. I think our new water tower is going to be great. Talking to Mr. Jenkins at the water department, it's going to alleviate some pressure. Also, our system's designed to have multiple pumps, and we have one running right now, so that's forcing more pressure through the lines, right? That more pressure is causing more breaks as our system decays. So getting the other pump online to kind of disperse that pressure is going to be really, really important, because it's going to create longevity in our infrastructure that we currently have, allowing us to catch up to our needs.
Roads as well, and you touched on the sewer and the wastewater. Roads, the weather we have, you're going to have potholes, you're going to have things like that. It's going to be common. But it again, it goes along with, it's one of those essential things. People got to be able to get around. So I guess again, it goes back to the idea of funding, and you mentioned the blue zone grants and things like that. So that's one area of funding. But if you were to be elected, there's going to be all these departments that are going to need funding, and you're going to have to find it. So are you up to that task? And is there anything you've looked at already to maybe?
So again, on my walk the other day, I'm looking around. I have pictures of our sidewalks. I have pictures of the Adams Street wall that is crumbling, right? There has to be safety grants out there, right? My dad was a safety director, so I know there's safety money, and crumbling infrastructure has to be deemed unsafe, right? Also, I go back to area-specific grants that we're utilizing. Right? Are we utilizing our money in the most valuable ways? We have used some of the Beatty Park money on Lincoln Ave, or did it have to be? And I don't know this. I wasn't on council, I'll be honest, but we have to look outside the box, and we have to look at the city holistically. We can't compartmentalize the city. It's a living organism. It's a living organism, right? The water feeds off the roads. If our water infrastructure is crumbling, they're going to have to dig it up. Where are they going to go through? The roads. So that's going to then make the roads worse. So it's a holistically a living organism that every aspect feeds off the next.
Let's move on to housing and homelessness in Steubenville. My co-anchor Jamie Baker did a series on the homeless population last October, and kind of what it's how it's grown and how it grew quickly. What have you observed from that?
So that is actually the topic that brought me into the race. I got a call from my pastor, and he said, Ralph, you have a ton of people at your gym. You're community oriented. I need your help. I'm like, okay, hit me with it. And he said, I want to have a cookout. We have an empty lot next to the church. I want to invite people down, and I want to break bread and build community with those individuals. I want to share compassion, and having cookouts isn't the answer, but it makes you learn. And the biggest thing I learned is I felt like such a butthead, because I bought apples. I thought that was a great idea. It's a handheld snack. They can travel on the road. I was so taken back when I learned that it's hard for those individuals to eat an apple because they don't have teeth, right? No one would have thought that. Like, oh, so we have to first learn what they're dealing with. Is it mental health? Is it addiction? Is it lack of skills and lack of education that are inhibiting them for getting work or making it hard for those individuals to get work? And we have to be so compassionate. We have to look at people as humans, not things. Let's break bread. Let's figure out, hey, are our shelters adequate? Are our treatment facilities adequate? And are our training facilities adequate? And we have to identify the needs of each individual and be able to holistically and empathetically place them in the right zone to get them the right help they need.
And my follow-up to that was going to mention, there's different things. There's drugs, there's inflation. You mentioned different the mental health side of things. There's so many different reasons that could lead to someone becoming homeless. Is there one solution to this, or is it not one size fits all? And I think you kind of answered that already, but that was my next question.
It's not one size fit all. And the resource network, the Jefferson County Resource Network, is awesome. And I think it's underutilized. And there's 1,000 resources on a website that you can kind of, if you need something, you can go to a website, you can go what you need, and you can look at that. And we need to have, again, it takes a whole community. It's going to take a plethora of different concepts, looking outside the box, even all the way down to physical preparation. Is this person physically fit enough to work? How can we help them obtain a gym membership? How can we help them increase their physical training? That way they're stronger, right? If your job task is to carry 80-pound bales of concrete and you can't do that, and that's the only job that might be available, how can we make you more physically and mentally fit to be able to do that?
Let's move on to one of the last topics I have for you today, and that's partnerships and communications. I kind of grouped it under that. How would you work with local leaders, so surrounding municipalities and villages, county leaders, the commission, the sheriff's department, whoever it might be, state and federal levels? Everyone's got to work together. How would you get that done?
We have to have collaboration. If you want to go fast, you go alone. If you want to go far, you go together. It was a beautiful thing a few years ago to see Wintersville's mayor and Wintersville's trucks come into our Laybell Hilltop and help us with our community cleanup. JB Green donated a roll-off dumpster, and we took out 15 tons of trash. It was done in Wintersville's trucks, and Wintersville's mayor was there. And I think those collaborations are so necessary. And I think as Steubenville goes, the county goes. We are the county seat. I know Mike Petrella said Wintersville is now the heart of the county. It is not. I will fight that till the day I die because I'm competitive. And I will utilize my competitive nature to increase our collaborations, to get Steubenville to grow, to keep Steubenville residents here. And we have to have those collaborations. We have to talk to the local businessmen. We have to say, hey, you have this property. How can we enhance that the surrounding infrastructure around your property for growth and development? I look at 3rd Street. 3rd Street's really, really important to me. When you take the 3rd Street exit off of Route 7, I see a vision of boutiques, restaurants, and shops. You have the Sycamore Center, you have First West, you have the new STEM building, you have the high school right there, you have the athletic performance facility, you have the fort just down the road. Up the street, you have historic 4th Street. 3rd Street can be something so beautiful because to me, having lived in other areas, I would go to a play and then I would stop at dinner, or I'd stop at dinner before, and then I would go to a play and I'm like, oh, there's a little boutique. Let's check. I'm a suit guy. I like to dress nice. Like, hey, there's a tailor right here with custom made suits. Yes, that's niche, but those niche shops blow up. And those are things that we need. I posed a question on Facebook because I needed to get my shoes shined and I don't know how to shine my shoes. Can't do it around here. Why not? Why don't we're looking at the bike trails, right? We're looking at the rails and trails. We're looking at the Great American Trail. Why don't we have a niche bike shop in Steubenville? Those are great ideas to be, especially with a new bridge being built and new infrastructure being built that was hopefully going to connect our communities. Those are niche things that, hey, okay, I'm on my bike. I can't carry a lot, but I need food. I need maybe a tire change or an inner tube change. My seat might be worn. Oh, there's a cool helmet that's custom painted. Those are things that will bring people to Steubenville in unique ways.
And you mentioned that you met with numerous department heads and you've had conversations with them. Through those conversations, how do you feel that they communicate amongst each other and with council? And how do you feel, it's kind of a two-part question, how do you feel they communicate outward with residents?
I think there's a huge disconnect on all fronts. I do. I think that we need to go see the places. I think there's a yearning for our administration to be in the trenches. Again, I'm out here running a skid steer, moving chalets, right? I think that there is a disconnect from their day to day. They don't know what we do, and we don't know what they do. So we have to communicate effectively on both sides. I think administrative, like, yeah, we get things done. Like, hey, here's this report. Here's what we need. Here's what I see. Okay, can you pass this? Things like that. I've been to every council meeting except for tonight since August. And if I'm the only person going to the plants and things like that, that's a huge problem, because you got to be in the mud with the guys. That brings morale up. If you know that I'm next to you in this pit and I'm willing to at least, hey, I can't fix this water line, but I can bring my guys coffee, I can bring them donuts, I can be there for moral support. I think that's tremendous. And I don't think we do that enough.
And so a solution to that could be
going out and doing it. Like, we have to be doers. We can't be talkers. We can't be thinkers. We have to be doers. Faith without works is dead. And we have to make our guys in the trenches know we're right there with them, because that's going to bring morale up. Those are going to keep those guys in those positions and not leaving for other communities.
Got a few minutes left here with Ralph Petrella. If you have any final questions or comments you'd like us to talk about, please feel free to leave them. Ralph is running in the Steubenville primary for mayor against Kimberly Hahn coming up May 6th. Ralph, I do want to ask you about a topic you brought up earlier. I didn't have it here, but it was something you said, you're passionate crime, violence, kind of bringing that, tackling that aspect of things. Anything you wanted to share about that, or specifically hone in on?
Yeah, and I'm a genuine guy. I might get emotional, so I apologize ahead of time. I've seen too many. I graduated from Steubenville High School. I have a very unique background. When my parents divorced as a young man, my best friend lived on South 8th Street. So I got to see Steubenville from a different perspective than most people that look like me. And we have to do better for our African American community. We have to figure out ways to stop violent crime across the board, white, black, it doesn't matter. I've lost countless friends to gang violence. I've lost countless friends to senselessness, to drugs. And I think it's so important to make sure that we are looking out for each other and not allowing those things to happen, right? I think foot patrol is huge. I think that getting a relationship with officers and the youth is so vital, and demilitarizing our police. And I don't mean defunding them at all. Absolutely. I am for police. We need to put faces with bodies, right? A lot of times I was in Pleasant Food Mart the other day, and I was talking to some individuals, and the biggest thing they said is like, hey, we don't know the cops like we used to. When we were foot patrol, we knew the police officers. Those police officers were respectful for us. Now we just see them riding by. I understand. I know the cops, but if our citizens are saying that, we have to make a look at that.
Ralph, I would just want to wrap up with a couple of vision and pitch to voter questions, as I always do. Just kind of where do you see Steubenville in 5 years?
I look at it in 30 years. I look at it that I will still be here in 30 years working, and the decisions we make in the next 5 years and the growth we establish in the next 5 years is just the start for 30 years. I think that we have a great potential in Steubenville. I think Steubenville is a great place. And I think that if people are willing to take pride in their town and love Steubenville as much as I do, then we can achieve great lengths. My pitch is to get out and vote. Anybody can vote. If, again, as you said, as we opened this broadcast, it is me versus Kimberly Hahn. There is no Democrat and there is no independent as of now. There's no write-in as of now. So this is the mayoral race. Anybody can vote. I have taken heat from the Republican Party for saying this, and that's okay. I will, again, broad shoulders, strong legs. I'll take all the heat. I want all of our citizens to be heard. Democrat, independent, Republican, get out, vote, ask for the Republican ballot, switch party lines. I don't care, because it is your choice. Now, if this was a normal election and there's 2 Republicans and 2 Democrats, I would never say that. But it's not a normal election. It's not. It is the election for Steubenville mayor.
And this is the first time, I should mention, in a long time that there has not been a Democrat filed in the primary. So it is a unique situation that we have here coming up. Anything else you'd like to add, Ralph?
Thank you for your time. Thank you for Steubenville. I appreciate all the comments that I've got door to door, and I've even appreciated getting the door slammed in my face a couple of times. It happens. People are passionate, and I think that's a great thing. I think we need more passion towards our politicians.
Ralph Petrella, Steubenville Mayoral candidate. Ralph, thanks for
Thank you, Dylan. I appreciate you
coming in tonight. For continued Beyond the Podium election coverage, of course, keep it tuned to the News 9 digital channels and, of course, on WTOV9 as we approach that May 6th primary election in Ohio. Thanks for joining us tonight